What's up, YouTube? So now I want to go ahead and just give you a book review. This was something I was going to do for a while. I actually did do a recording of it, but the sound wasn't really good on it. So this is the book review, final review of Non-Negotiable by Wes Wasson, 10 Years Incarcerated. I don't necessarily agree with everything in this book. There's a lot of swearing. He can make his point more succinct if he doesn't have to use like foul language. But I think there's a lot of nuggets in this book. So if you can tolerate that and you can get past that, you can really get a lot of value out of this book. So one of the things that he talked about is the construction of habits. And I'm going to read some excerpts from his book. And just so you know, this is fair use. I'm not copywriting. This is something to where I'm just giving my opinion on this book. So he talks about when we habitually construct habits, we completely rewire our subconscious. So this is a guy who was like in the hole, in prison. He was in prison for 10 years and he created habits. And when he was in prison, sometimes he would stay in a cell for months at a time, 6-8 months, never leaving his cell. Can you imagine? And what he did is he constructed his life where he's going to work out. He's going to make sure that he does the time and the time doesn't do him. And he would get up early in the morning. He would do burpees. He would do push-ups. He was careful about his diet, what he ate. He would make sure he would eat only beans, only protein, anything that would just help him to build muscle. So that's what he did. The most fucking power in the world is self-control and self-discipline. And so that's an example. But I mean, if you can get past that, it's true. The most power you can have is self-control and self-discipline. If you can master yourself, you can master your world. So many people have said that. He talked about this thing that he talked about is it's called cosmic debt, something like that. And what he talked about is karmic debt. He talked about some lady who had imprisoned him, and she had imprisoned a lot of people falsely. And he's not saying that he did bad stuff. He's saying that, yeah, he did bad stuff, but the witness that they had called him to testify against him was someone who changed their story like 31 times. And they were able to convict him even though this guy had changed his story. So, this lady, the district attorney, kept doing that with a lot of people, and she ended up blowing her head off and killing herself. And he talked about the karmic debt. Karmic debt is basically like bad karma. Like if you're doing bad things to people, bad things are going to happen to you. And he says that's the reason why he went in prison, because he was selling drugs, he was taking advantage of people. And so bad things happened to him. That's how come he ended up in prison. And he said he deserved prison. You know, one thing I can say about this guy is he takes responsibility for his life, which I respect. I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with everything he does, but I do respect the man. He has really built his life and built a successful business based on accountability and personal discipline to go to a next level. And I do watch him every once in a while on YouTube and on his Instagram. But you have to understand that a lot of that stuff, those cars and all that, you don't see what's behind it. You don't see the hard work that he's put in, the mentoring and the discipline, the personal accountability, the personal discipline that it takes to create a multi-million-dollar business. So I would just say one of the principles that he talked about. I want to go over this with you. He talks about purpose over pleasure, acquire what you admire, habitual construction, the power of gratitude, and personify the teaching. You must be the actual, you must personify your teaching. And what that means is, like if I say I'm going to work out in the morning, that means I'm going to work out in the morning, and it shows. If I say I'm not going to eat fatty foods and I'm going to stay away from sugar, that means I'm not going to eat fatty foods and I'm going to stay away from sugar. So many people, they have like this I forgot what it's called, but basically you don't feel worthy. What happens when you don't feel worthy is because you haven't done the work. You haven't stacked those wins. And stacking those wins is accomplishing your goals on a daily basis. And it's stacked. Today I'm going to accomplish my goals. You're working for yourself. When you lead yourself first, then you can lead others. But the key to leading others is leading always. Okay, that's something I learned from Jason Redman when I was in his group. I left his group. Jason Redman, he's a retired Navy SEAL. His face got shut up. His face got blown apart, actually. He had reconstruction surgery. But he said, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come back better, stronger, and better than I've ever been before. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to take responsibility over my life, and I'm going to make the best of it. That's all you can do. When life gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade. You got to make the best of it. He had two options. He could stay and feel sorry for himself, or he could become unstoppable. And he chose to become unstoppable. So, and he helped a lot of people, including me. So I would just say, if you want a book that's about 143 pages long, it's about 150 pages long. If you want a book that really will help you level up in life, another tool that you can add, this is definitely a good book, worthy of reading. I think I paid like $11 for it, worth every penny for it. God bless Wes Watson. Let him do what he's got to do. And take what you can out of this book and apply it in your life. Take care. Thanks for watching. And that's my book review for Non-Negotiable.